Welcome back to another episode of the Sex and Spanglish podcast. I'm your hostess, Ana Lopez. I'm a sexologist and sex coach, and I'm here to help you enjoy sex sin vergüenza. And today I'm going to be doing that by giving you step-by-step instructions on how to solve for low libido or missing libido. 2 weeks ago, I published an episode talking about low libido, what its root cause is, how to identify if that is what you're truly experiencing. And I gave you a short preview of what solving for low libido looks like. And I promised that I would publish an episode on solving for the low libido. And that's what we'll be doing today. Now, I do want to point out that I did promise that it was going to come out a week from that episode. So technically, it should have gone out last week on July 1st. However, I had surgery on July 1st, and I was very ambitious in my promise of getting it out on the same day that I was having surgery. So it obviously did not go out. You will not find it in the queue. This is the solution episode that was promised to you. I'm going to publish a whole episode over the next couple weeks about what this surgery was about, why I had it, all of the things, because it is relative to you more than likely. I had endometriosis lesions removed. So I'm going to do a deep dive into what that is. How do you know if you have it? How do you get officially diagnosed? What the treatment is like? Do you need surgery? Do you not need surgery? All of the things, the surgical process, and all of that. But I did want to point out that I did create a commitment that I ultimately did not keep. And so here we are. I also wanted to mention the surgery now because you may find that I'm talking a little bit slower. I may take some pauses here and there. I may sound like I'm out of breath even, and that is because I'm only a week out from surgery. While I do feel well enough to talk, and I'm just literally sitting on my couch right now talking into a microphone that weighs like less than a pound. I am still having trouble breathing fully in the way that I normally am. Obviously, I'm getting tired easier. I'm also on narcotics, so that makes you drowsy. I'm on nerve blockers, so those also make you drowsy. And full disclosure, I am like, I have a very high alcohol tolerance. I have a very low drug tolerance. So that's why I was a drinker and not a smoker, because anytime I'm given anything that is like supposed to make you drowsy, I will be so tired for days on end. It is ridiculous. Um, just shortly, I feel like I'm going off on a tangent, but shortly I want to share this before I get into the episode. Is the day that I had surgery, obviously I was put under, and this is like full sedation. It's not the twilight. So full sedation. I literally slept from like they woke me up and I went back to sleep defiantly because I was tired. Went back to sleep. I was sleeping in the recovery room instead of drinking like I was supposed to. Finally, I woke up enough that they let me leave. I slept on the way home. The hospital was it's 30 minutes from my house, but it took us about an hour to get home or I would say like an hour and a half, because we had to stop and get my medication. We had to stop because I threw up on the way home. And there was also traffic. So that was fun. But I slept the entire ride. And then we got home and I changed and I went to sleep again, and I didn't wake up until 10:30 a.m. the next day, and my surgery was at 8 a.m. So my surgery was on 8 a.m. on Wednesday. I woke up at 10:30 a.m. on Thursday. Um, and I was still tired. So anyway, just wanted to share how weak I am I don't know if weak's the right word, but how drugs just take me out. So anyway, here we are. So again, today's episode, I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to solve for low libido. If you haven't listened to the episode that is published before this on low libido, I need you to go and listen to that first, because that is going to give you insight on exactly why you are experiencing what you are experiencing as it relates to your libido. So go back, listen to that episode. In that episode, I'm telling you why your libido is the way that it is. And you need to hear that before you listen to this episode, because libido is an easy fix when you know why your libido was low in the first place. The last published episode covers that. Okay. So a quick refresher, even though you've listened to that episode, a quick refresher on what libido is and the two types. Again, libido is just a fancy word for sexual desire. Okay, so you may hear me use those terms interchangeably. Libido is sexual desire, and there are two types. I also want to remind you that there are scientific terms for the two types of libido, two types of desire, but I like to keep this podcast in layman's terms when possible to make it easier for you to remember. If you are interested in the scientific terms, of course, you can look them up. You can reach out to me of like, hey, what word are you using for this? Whatever. I'm happy to help you in that arena. That said, for the purposes of this podcast, I prefer to keep it in layman's terms, terms that you're actually going to fucking use in your life. It does not matter what words you use as long as you know in terms of libido, right? For in certain cases, there are specific words you should be using, body parts being one of them. That said, for the purposes of libido, it really doesn't fucking matter what words you use. It really doesn't. So, for the purposes of this episode, we're going to be talking about desire or libido as mental desire and physical desire. Mental desire are thoughts, fantasies, and memories. Physical desire is physical things that are happening to you, right? So, whether you're wet, your body is warming up, you're tingling, throbbing, right? You're feeling horny. So those are physical signs of physical desire. So let's get into the step-by-step instructions. There are 3 steps here, and each step has like a few things within them, but overall, there are 3 steps. Number 1, stop telling yourself you have low libido. Number 2, you're going to check in with your body to see what it has to say about sex. And number 3, when you actually go to have sex, allow yourself to enjoy it. Do more of what you like and stop forcing yourself to do what you don't like. So I'm going to break down each of these steps one by one. So again, number 1, you're going to stop telling yourself you have low libido. You're here listening to this podcast about libido. You knew it was about libido when you started, right? Which means there is, at the very least, some mental desire, even if it's very minuscule. Minuscule? Yes. There's some there. You're just not horny. And you actually might be horny, but you're just assuming you're not, so your body gives up. What I mean by that is there may be, from time to time, signs of like physical desire, signs of horniness, but your brain ends up shutting it down because you're telling yourself the story that you have low libido. So when you're telling yourself you have low libido, even if you truly have low libido, what ends up happening is it becomes like the self-fulfilling prophecy. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm just a person that doesn't have libido. My libido's not high, blah, blah, blah. And you're like feeding into that, right? It is true. I need you to know this. It is true that if you don't lose it, if you don't use it, you lose it. When it comes to sex, this is true because the more you have sex, the more your body wants it. In the same way, the more sugar you have, the more your body's like, well, that was nice. Let me have some more, right? The less you have sex, the less your body wants it. Here's why. Is because when you have sex and you enjoy it, your body is going to remember that. And it is going to say, like, okay, this is something we need to prepare our body for because this is something that we do, resulting in the physical symptoms that you experience, the physical desire, right? It becomes like this like positive feedback loop. The more you experience the more you experience the sexual desire of any kind, the more your brain is like, well, this is something we do, right? In the same way, when you train your body of like, okay, we go poop in the morning or, whatever it is. Your body adapts to that. So if you become accustomed to not having sex, your body's like, oh, well, then we don't need to prepare you for it because we don't have it anyways. So there's no point. Let me focus on all of the other things that I need to do because we got some important shit going on here. We're trying to keep you alive, girl. Okay. So stop telling yourself that you have low libido. Because A, you're here listening to this, which means at the very least you have some mental desire, which is a form of sexual desire. It's not that you don't, it's not necessarily that your libido is low, okay? You're just not horny. And it is okay if you are not horny. And the reality is you might be a little bit horny, but you're just assuming that you're not. And if you don't use it, you lose it. So we want to start using it. And I'm going to get into that in a second. Number 2, check in with your body to see what it has to say about sex. When your partner initiates, pause. Do you mentally want to have sex? Ask yourself that question. What do you feel in your body? If your body wants sex, but you don't mentally want to have sex, are you willing to give your body what it wants to see if your mind can get on board? And if your mind wants sex, but your body doesn't, are you willing to try to see if your body responds? If your response is yes to either of these questions, then I want you to give yourself permission to do it. And if not, then I want you to give yourself permission to say no without feeling guilty for it. You're not obligated to have sex, no matter how long you've been with your partner, how long it's been since y'all had sex. I don't care. You're always allowed to say no. And number 3, when you actually go to have sex, allow yourself to enjoy it. So many of you are saying yes to sex and then not allowing yourself to enjoy it. If you're going to obligate yourself to have sex, which I don't want you to, by the way, but if you're going to, but like you're a free person, right? You have free will. If you were going to force yourself to have sex with your partner because you think you should, then like I can't stop you. But the rule is that you have to enjoy it then. You have to allow yourself to enjoy it. You're not going to force yourself to have sex and then not enjoy it. That's bullshit. Like, I don't want you forcing yourself to have sex anyway, but if you're going to do it, at least allow yourself to fucking enjoy it. I digress. I want you, and actually, I don't digress. I take that back. The way that you're going to allow yourself to enjoy it is you're going to do more of what you like. There are things that you like in the bedroom, even if the sex is like shit. There are things that you like about it. So do more of what you like and stop forcing yourself to do what you don't like. Doing these 3 steps will absolutely increase your libido, but they don't address everything. I need you to know that. And this is why I offer one-on-one coaching. Once I hear your story, your unique story, I can tell you exactly what is going on with your libido, and I can help you add the additional steps that are necessary to help you solve your unique problem. So, if this is something that you want to do, then I highly encourage you to apply for one-on-one coaching because space is limited. Spots are limited and they do come on a first come, first serve basis. So that means that if you're like, oh, well, I'm going to wait until like the end of the month because I got a lot of going on and blah, 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 blah. Well, Lupita and Myra and Esmeralda might have taken your spot, right? So if you know that this is something that you're struggling with, and if you've been trying for over 30 days but haven't solved it, then you're going to want to apply for one-on-one coaching. You can do that by going to the show notes. Tells you exactly what to do. Apply for one-on-one coaching. Now my calendar is currently closed for the month of July, but you can get on for August. You can get on my calendar for August. That is as soon as I come back. But do not wait to get on my calendar. You're doing yourself a disservice. The longer you wait to get on my calendar, the higher probability that somebody else is going to take your spot. So I know y'all have busy schedules, you have busy lives. Get on the calendar now so that you get dibs on the call that works for you. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking all about endometriosis and the what it is, how to get diagnosed, all the symptoms, all of that. So be sure to subscribe so you are the first to know when that episode comes out. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, everyone.